Good morning, students. Today we are back again in continuation with our history civics classes, and we are going to start the third chapter, that is the growth of the nationalism, and in this the first phase of the Indian national movement. Okay, so the Indian national movement has been divided into three phases, and it is like the number one phase is that of the early nationalists, and the period is 1885 to 1907. The second phase belongs to the extremist or the assertive phase, and it covers the period of 1907 to 1916, and the third phase belongs to Mahatma Gandhi ji, that is the Gandhian era, that is between 1915 to 1947. So the history of the Indian national movement is basically divided into three phases, and the first is the early phase or the phase of the moderates. They were known as the moderate leaders. Okay, why they were known as the moderates, what were their demands, what were their methods, we are going to see in this chapter. This is the first phase of the Indian national movement, which belongs to the moderate leaders. Okay, so the early nationalists, in its initial years, the Congress was led by a group of leaders known as the early nationalists. The members of this group were drawn from the educated middle class, consisting of the professionals like the lawyers, barristers, teachers, and officials who drew inspiration from the Western liberal and the radical thought. Okay, so they were mainly the people from the different sectors of the life. They were lawyers, they were barristers, they were teachers, they were officers, and their main inspiration was from the Western education. As you are aware of it, that the British had already introduced the Western education, and it was being taught in the medium of the English. So these nationalist leaders were exposed to the thinking of the Western philosophers and writers, and they were influenced by the liberal, that is the ideas of the freedom, and the radical thought, means like the revolutionary thoughts. They wanted a change in the society to take place. So these leaders were heavily influenced by the thoughts and the writings of the Western philosophers. Now, what is the difference between the lawyers and the barristers? Barristers are also most of the time they are synonymous with the lawyers, but lawyers, like, mainly they do the consultation job. Barristers will be representing you in the court, and they will be fighting your case in the court. For example, in some movies, or you have seen some pictures where they will be wearing a white wig and a long coat, and they are mainly referred to as the barristers. Okay, and in those days it was required that they need to have a law degree, and for that purpose they went abroad, mainly to England, to study the law, and when they came back they represented their country in the court, or they fought the cases for the people in the court. Okay, so these were the people from the different sectors of the life, and they were the early nationalist leaders who represented India and fought against the British during this phase. Many of them were educated in England and felt that the British intended to be just to Indians, but they were unaware of the true state of the affairs of India. So they had a strong belief that the Britishers, they wanted to do something good for the Indian people. Okay, but the Britishers were not aware of the prevailing conditions in India. They need to be aware, they need to be informed about the conditions of India. Then only the Britishers will be able to bring about a change in India. Now, who were the leaders? The early nationalists included leaders from all parts of the country as W.C. Banerjee, right? We have read about him in the previous chapter, Umesh Chandra Banerjee. He was also associated with the formation of the INC, Raj Bihari Ghosh, Surendranath Banerjee and R.C. Dutt from Bengal. Dadabhai Naoroji, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Firoz Shah Mehta and Justice Ranade from Maharashtra and Gujarat. P.R. Naidu, Subramaniam Iyer and Ananda Chalu from Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Pandit Madan Mohan Malviya from Uttar Pradesh, liberal Englishmen like Hume and Wedderburn. So A.O. Hume was also associated with the formation of the INC, and he actually helped the Indians in the formation of the INC. The early nationalist leaders who led the Congress and the national movement in its initial years were staunch believers. Now, what is the meaning of staunch? They were very faithful, they were devoted, and they trusted the Britishers, and they were believers in the open-minded politics and the moderate politics. Now, why they are termed as the moderates? Because they believed in a method of like consultation, conferences, giving letters, giving them memos to the British, and in this way they were like a very peaceful group of leaders who wanted to bring a change in India with the assistance of the British. They believed that the Britishers will definitely help the Indians if they are aware of the condition of the Indians. Okay, so they believed that the British rule in India was a blessing, and it was to improve the condition in India. So with this belief, they carried out their agitation, protest, everything in India. They believed in the loyalty to the British Crown. B.C. Pal, an early nationalist leader, said in 1887, "I am loyal to the British government because with me loyalty to the British government is identical with loyalty to my own people and my own country." So this idea actually reflected most of the thinking of the moderates. They felt that if you identify with your country, then you will definitely support the British. They wanted that Indians should have their proper and legitimate share in the government. Legitimate means what? Rightful share. The Indians should also have a very legitimate, rightful, justful share in the government. They asked for the constitutional and other reforms within the framework of the British rule, as they had faith in the British sense of justice and fair play. Now, what is fair play? Fair play is impartiality. They believe that the Britishers are impartial and they are justice holders. So they will definitely feel the condition of the Indians, and they wanted to bring about a reform in cooperation with the British. They believed that continuation of the British connection with India was in interest of both England and India. So they wanted the Britishers to rule in India and also bring about a change in India, a reform in India which is beneficial for both England and India. They concerned themselves with the demand for reforms. Their demands were moderate in nature. Moderate means what? It is average, it is modest, it is humble. So they were very peaceful in their approach towards the British. Now, what were the beliefs of the early nationalists? Beliefs like, certain principles they had to follow. What were the beliefs? The early nationalists had faith in the sense of justice, fair play, honesty and integrity of the British. So they believed that the British were honest and they had to bring about a change in the Indian society, and they will be impartial, they will uphold justice, and they will be integrated united and they will be honest in their approach. So they totally had complete faith in the British system of the administration. It was their hope that the British would grant home rule to the Indians. Home rule means what? Self-government to the Indians. They relied on the solemn pledges made by the British government. Solemn means what? The serious pledges. Now, the Britishers at that time, they had colonies not only in India but also in Canada, Australia, Africa, and by that time they had already granted self-rule, or the capacity to rule their own country to Australia and Canada. So similarly, the Indians also felt that it is time that the Britishers also grant them similar rules. They believed that the British had many benefits. For example, it aided in cleansing the social ills like sati, untouchability and child marriage. Aided means what? It helped in cleansing, means cleaning up the society, like the social evils like the sati, untouchability and the child marriage. Definitely the Britishers had passed several laws to abolish all these social evils in the society, and the moderate leaders felt that it is a blessing that the Britishers are reforming the Indian society. They were of the opinion that Britain would help Indians govern themselves according to the Western standards. Now, they were also strong believers that if we appeal to the British, then definitely the Britishers will help us to govern our own people according to the Western standards. That is the democratic form of the government. They said that the main obstacle in the India's progress was social and economic backwardness of Indians and not the British colonial rule. Okay, so the moderates did not believe that the Britishers exploited the Indians. They believed that it is the backwardness, that is the society is backward and therefore we are not able to progress. They did not hold the Britishers responsible for the plight of the Indians. Plight means the condition or the poor condition of the Indians. They relied on the constitutional and the peaceful methods to achieve their aims. Constitution means the legal methods. They believed in patience and reconciliation. Reconciliation means settlement, rather than in violence and confrontation. Confrontation means clash and conflict. So they never believed in the method of the confrontation, protest and clash, conflict. They always had a table-like approach, like you will be submitting your letters and you will be discussing and you will be having a meeting with the other party or the Britishers, and then they felt that the problem can be solved. So their method was very peaceful and they always had a moderate approach to the politics. So this is the method of the moderate leaders. Thank you for watching the video. Hope you have understood.